they can win. They shouldn't be able to win with Templar Assassin. If they beat a Morphling Brood Core lineup, yay.
I mean, that whole game did.
And that game made me. They will do anything to like get an advantage to equal. Very impressive.
Standard Mars times. Wyvern's still in the pool, so most likely would somebody be picked.
Really interesting that looking to draft, TNC played Mars once. First day of the tournament. Lost that. Drew is oftentimes banned. It's not. Curious to see what EG. Typically, even if in your scouting you don't see a team run a hero, you're still going to prepare for it if it's a top meta pick. Immediately, EG is Viper, this Flex for both op-ed we start. That won't happen. Break.
Hello. That one, sorry. Team down here out. Vipers for the break, right? Is that what they?
Viper for late.
Ah.
If the break is there, it's good. It's very good as split. It's also nice for Mars, but Viper's a hero at this turn. He hasn't, despite how hard he wins lane, he hasn't.
Lena.
I mean, that's what Effie was saying. Draft for lane. Earth Spirit isn't strongest lane necessarily, but with a Viper off lane or mid, the key is that it allows for kills. Earth Spirit, you typically want to have at least 2 lanes threatening. If that's a mid and off lane, that's ideal, because then you can kind of just play off map in the bottom enemy jungle. You're threatening both lanes. Viper also doesn't mind being left alone.
Partially Viper. He's like really slow. He sorts this up. You'd have to win the lane first.
Yeah.
Right. It looks to be a team, but they could switch mid. Good from first pick. You want to flex. You're not going to see the last enemy. But in my head, like if you really want to sort of pick a strong safe lane with high damage.
They definitely did some prep because I picked Lena once. It was obviously value it provides. G don't have any take.
Now let's talk a little bit about. Am I crazy or is Tim's the great? Okay. Yes.
Correct. Jerax.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, like,
but Tim used to play it too. Pretty
I mean,
sure.
he plays a good Earth Spirit. Honestly, I think of Jerax and Crit. Dude.
Classic. But at any rate,
Classic.
all I'm saying is, I feel like Earth Spirit, there's a reason Effie taught me the lack of cheap TP. Harder, maybe lower. We don't see a lot of teams. I mean, I guess touch on it, Owie, is dominant.
Earth Spirit has AoE systems that are just so. You're not really gonna get like a 5-man neg. You're also really focusing the hero that overcomes, and that's like the definition of. However, I do think the hero's a little bit undervalued right now. I've seen teams earn into beat when they are able to get to those items.
I agree with that because you're naturally.
She has like 0.9 strength, really high.
The issue is also that you're hard countered.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas you think about a hero like Wyvern, that's amazing save mechanic. First, kiting, you're looking. Every core's behind you. So at a point, you just get ignored.
I will say though, find a way to get your own. And you can sort of like roll in BKB and trade your BKB. That's when that hero can be very good. I mean, in my head, like there's no real reason, especially in the hand. Another reason why Earth Spirit might have fallen a bit is just the distance.
Lion.
Mid heroes have more. Ari speed, that means that Earth Spirit, traditionally the best mid ganker in sort of like getting.
Love this. I was thinking about the Abaddon, whether or not had success yesterday. Well, they may have lost.
I speak for the trees.
Hello.
EG, they're also taking it. This is cool because it leaves their draft totally. Likely it's an RT,
Yeah, I think almost for certain.
but the Viper could be mid or off. The MP could be 1 or 3. So your last pick is still any core, but it's very good against the Abaddon as a concept. The hero has no stun. You want to be able to play as sort of a counter. Spirit in the Lions, but Furion make a move and then immediately be at the other. You're gonna have this numbers advantage, natural tempo, plus something like way back Shanghai first doing. Lion plus profit. Such an insane combo because you see it sets up a teleport. If you get an early orchid, like a hero just dies if they're.
The carry Furions are going more damage to Orc. I think something that you have Abaddon for this. You have a carry Nature's Prophet who can provide the extra damage. Maybe you have enough to get through that miscode.
Also very nice. I don't want to say, but relatively kills.
All the way. Like Viper sort of lanes, but he's a slow mob up. Lion and Ursa are two of the worst lane. Having Nature's Prophet mean that you always run at your maps. Theoretically should.
This is realizing a hero. Don't see the combo yet. Take over the enemy.
I think it's enough. Yeah, that one's really good. Even like Lion, I think it's... I've seen it. If you gank a Viper, you can take the Nether Toxin and break or something. He has decent. So I don't really.
Curious to see what they go for here. Lina as a mid. Scary. It's because I think you might get on too hard. Lina's biggest issue. Playing against Prophet, potentially a Viper mid with a third off map, and Prophet is certainly a hero that can be left alone in off lane. And with an Abaddon morph as your laning, that sucks. Abaddon can't even touch Prophet. It's going to be a 1-on-2. Prophet will go. And then mid can just pressured. That tower could die on first.
You're gonna put Prophet 3. Prophet
Once you
3
see the
won't
morph.
pressure morph.
Really?
I think there's the nerfs to the tree and I think this game EG should put Prophet sort of enabled to do what you were saying. You put this like double range line. That sounds like a
No, that makes sense. You both outrange top.
yeah.
Mars.
I think EG safe lane, they're really good at utilizing. So like if Lina comes across the side and Furion has TP, you always secure the. Very like struck. Always have like either you're pulling or you create a double wave where you.
A Wyvern. Wyvern are...
Well, they were scared of the Lina mid, I guess. Wyvern 4. Honestly, I don't think that, but maybe they have some. He is very good versus Nature's Prophet. The Neo Curse they buffed in the last patch. He has 6. No, I can't remember. But I know, like, watch him play Winter Wyvern who's mid. Played versus Thompson's Puck. And level 6, he's so good. So it's the same thing with your next to some creeps, next to your tree. Curse can definitely have a.
Theoretically, look. Abaddon is concept. It's a really Blaggy gets up, go back and fight, but as always, pretty much read TNC's.
Yeah, Yeah, and the Morphling Abaddon, like, it would be good if you're playing versus EG just have a lot of sustained damage. So they do go for them.
I am not a huge fan. You're playing against, well, Fate Bolt's not terrible. That right now, yeah, RTZ asks for the profit.
Puck.
Straight up take over.
Puck last.
Yeah, this is the dream carry profit game. Playing up against two. Absolutely crush. Pre-level 6. Your mid lane is just one rune. And bottom lane is Viper Lion, as you said. I think very powerful against. Crush the map.
Have maybe Fly's already there, and if you're collapse on that lane. They have an Abaddon, but I think you just
Feels like a repeat. Last night, when we had a Mars the offlane, but it's kind of that same thing where if you don't have Arena, what's the actual G all in on Lina? What do you do?
With that said, if TNC can survive the lanes, they outplay EG. I think they probably play better than them. And KO'd them, right? Morphling in the very strong. Nothing to say. He's looked like a hard carry, so they do have the skill.
All right, well, I am going to go ahead and not let you guys predict because I'd actually like to see already know how it will end, thanks to Kyle's horrifying. So, we will go straight to our casters for EG versus TNC.
Thank you, panel. Suns fan here with Cinderin. We have quite the matchup, my friend. TNC versus EG. Best of 3. Loser goes home. Winner goes forward in the tournament and gets secure top 6. What are your thoughts on the matchup overall?
So I believe we've seen EG play 5 games before this one. They got a 2-1 yesterday and they got 2-0. No, wait, what am I talking about? They've only played 1 series. They've only played the one yesterday. We've only seen 3 games.
No, they were in the group stage.
Right, but in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs.
As far as the playoffs go, they've only played 1 series, right? So haven't seen too much of them on the big stage so far, but they did manage to get their 2-1 yesterday. In the groups, they kind of broke even. I think, did they get a 7-7 score, actually? That's how I remember it, at least.
6-6
it was
last I checked.
Yeah,
was it
I
only
think
12 or yeah, I can't remember. Why are you asking me these questions? I don't know the answers. I'm not a freaking encyclopedia. You're the one that's supposed to be the encyclopedia.
EG have looked so, I think, overall. And now now it's time to really show up and show why you were in the grand finals at the last major and why you, in many ways, probably should have won that last major.
Yep, that is correct.
So we see quite some. The panel we're talking about, especially Kyle was mentioning TNC as being innovative. I think EG are pulling out some really different stuff in this game. They're playing a Carry Fury on RTZ, or the Nature's Prophet. They have Crit on Earth Spirit, which isn't really innovative, but is something no other team is running here. It is obviously one of Crit's favorite heroes. And EG continue their style, I would say, in this tournament, where compared to a lot of other teams, they're very lane-oriented, very lane-heavy in their focus, but sacrifice teamfight a little bit. Their teamfight this game consists of Puck and Earth Spirit, which might sound good, but if you consider for the rest of the tournament, we've had teams pick like these Wyvern, Phoenix, Mars combinations, Magnus, Faceless Void, all these big arena ultis. EG's lineup doesn't have too much of that.
I mean, TNC, all they have is Mars.
All they have is Arena, which is also a bit uncharacteristic here. I think for TNC, also not too teamfight heavy. They've managed to, or they've decided rather to go with a Rubik position 4, which I think is the first time they've run that, at least at the playoffs here. And Boomy will be playing at position 5 Abaddon. So definitely a lot of creativity going into this draft. I'm with AUI on his read on the game that if this goes late, I do favor TNC overall. I think this is a really good Morphling game once he has a lot of items. But obviously you have to bridge the gap between the early game and that late game before you get there. And there are some threats to him here. There's Puck Silence, Earth Spirit Silence, Lion Hex. Plenty of things that can catch that Morphling, so they've definitely made sure to target Gabbi. overall. Who do you favor in this series? So going in for me, I actually think TNC is the favorites for me personally, just based on overall performance in the tournament so far.
Well, it depends on your perspective. So are you asking who I think has looked better at this tournament so far? Because if so, TNC, easily.
Right.
EG has, it's one of those things where you don't have that big, like high expectations for TNC to start and they've just impressed you. And you've had really high expectations for EG and they've disappointed. So the question is, how far have they fallen in those terms? But I've said this on many occasions. I think on paper, EG, you'd be hard pressed to find a better 5 players together, just without even talking about the games played.
Right, so just like in the individual player's proficiency in their role.
If I was building a roster and I could choose anybody I want, these 5 would be in contention for each specific position.
Right.
You know, so
yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's fair.
I think. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole idea? As obviously the game is paused. We're not pausing the game in order to have one of our beautiful conversations.
I'm really angry today, so I'm delaying the game.
Yeah. Which plugs did you pull here, buddy? But the Nature's Prophet from RTZ, this is something he's pulled out a couple times in the NADPC. And I mean, again, it's NADPC, so there's only like 3 good teams. So I don't know how much you can take from those games particularly, but it obviously did look good at the time.
I don't know about Carry Nature's Prophet in general in this patch. Like it's, I would say it's had its phases in previous metas and in previous patches where it's been really good. But right now, with how the teams are playing at this tournament, I'll just be honest, I'm not sold. I kind of need to be won over here that this is going to look amazing. I see a lot of trouble for Nature's Prophet if he doesn't snowball, and we've seen a lot of the games in this tournament go relatively late, or carries start getting 3, 4, 5 items. Nature's Prophet's ability as a carry to win against other carries relies on being ahead. Like if you give the same net worth to Nature's Prophet as any of like the top 10 meta carries, they're probably more value, right? So the trade-off that you need to get out of this hero is the early pressure. It's to get those towers. It's to get ahead and stay ahead and really pressure the map. So yeah, we'll see how that all works out. Guess one hero that is also worth highlighting here overall is going to be the Abaddon from Boomy. Obviously, being played as a position 5, it will more or less only be a hard save, which is also another thing in this tournament that's become really popular, saves, right? We've got the Wyvern with the healing build. Oracle has been becoming more popular. Abaddon, all these IO for Enigma with the Holy Locket builds. This is a difficult Abaddon game, I think. I'm looking forward to seeing if Boomy can pull it off. It's hard to play this hero into multiple silences.
Yep, that is true.
When we get started.
Obviously, Aphotic Shield has super low range.
Yeah.
So positioning is going to be very important. But another thing that has been very important this tournament, not that it's not important in Dota in general, but I feel like this patch in particular, the Roshan, especially specifically the second one, neither team has crazy Rosh, but I feel like from EG's side, obviously this is a more early game centric lineup that you want to finish, you know, by the 30-minute mark, 35 minutes. Typically the second Rosh will be taken by that time. Do you think they can do it fast enough? I mean, it's just Nature's Prophet to tank a bit with, obviously he's going to go some sort of, I mean, he has the Blightstone already. I don't know if he actually goes Deso. I don't think I've ever seen him do that, but
right.
Like, how's the Rosh potential for each respective team?
The item I'm always looking for if you're going Rosh with a lineup that isn't good at it is Solar Crest, right?
Which anybody can buy.
Who do you buy that on EG? Do you buy it on Earth Spirit? I feel like Earth Spirit really wants BKB this game. I could see Crit go earn BKB or Veil BKB. If he thinks it's good. I personally don't think you should go Vessel. Even though you're against Morphling, you're also against Abaddon, who can take it off. Morph will naturally want to itemize probably a Manta or a BKB here regardless against the silences, so your Vessel might have a short moment of opportunity only. But yeah, knowing Crit, this is definitely a game where he wants BKB relatively quickly, so I don't know. Like, I don't think you can go Crest BKB and expect to get BKB at the time in this game that you want it. Because like we've already alluded to a couple of times now, EG's lineup really wants to peak at that 20-minute mark, right? Yeah. You're not going to get Crest BKB on your position 4 at Spirit Made at 20. That is just not happening.
Yeah, and then
this is kind of how I feel about this pause right now. It's very, it's a good metaphor. This is not how I feel about this pause right now.
But you don't like the original look of Puck without cosmetics?
I just had this. Oh, okay. We're having a little bit.
That is an interesting pose. Kind of yeah.
Sleeping.
Not safe for work, that one, I think.
Stop jungling, let's push.
But speaking of like the Solar Crest, Lion for Fly, obviously wants to go with the Blink Dagger. I don't think he's ever going to be able to afford anything like a Solar Crest on top of that. Plus, it might be too late at that point. Blink Dagger is just like a must-have, it feels like. But yeah,
You know
what are your thoughts like through the tournament so far? Since we have time to, we could just have a little podcast right now if you want.
Yes.
What have you liked about the patch that maybe surprised you in this specific tournament that you maybe weren't seeing a whole lot of prior to?
I don't know what has really like surprised me that I enjoy. I think the patch in general has just delivered, right? Like there's a lot of action, there's a lot of team fighting. It seems very well balanced in terms of what teams are drafting. I guess maybe the patch is still very team fight heavy, and maybe it leaves a bit to be desired in the way of split pushing. But even that, we've seen a little bit more of, I would say, in this patch than previous ones.
I mean, does anybody really miss split pushing, Cinderin? Let's be real.
It's an
other than
integral.
Alliance.
Yeah.
If that was
they
in,
miss
they'd
it dearly.
still be here for sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I agree.
overall, I feel like it's enjoyable, right? The lanes matter, team fights matter. Overall, I guess in a way, I don't know if this should be surprising or not, but even though we were expecting the second Roche to be important, maybe it's even more important than we thought, right? I guess in a way that is surprising that it decides the game that much, and I do think once this tournament is over, we're going to see that change.
What would you change?
I don't think it should drop the shard.
I love the fact that
Then it shouldn't drop cheese.
Right. I'm fine getting rid of the cheese.
Yeah.
You can delete cheese from the game entirely. I'm fine with that.
I would also be
I
okay
think
with that, to be honest.
shard dropping is such a cool aspect to the second Roche, and
I'm okay with that.
I mean, again, it comes down to, we've talked about this so many times, so many knobs for Ice Frog to have to dial in to be able to balance, and like 1,400 gold for this item, and it's not worth 1,400 gold on some, and it's worth way more on others. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting concept. But
I mean, that's obviously also going to be a part of balancing off the Roche, right? Is making sure that the shards feel evenly distributed, because like we're talking about how crucial the second Roche is, because usually the teams are drafting specifically for heroes that shard is really good on. But if the really absolutely best shards get nerfed and the worst ones get buffed, you might reach this equilibrium where it doesn't maybe feel as impactful. Because every game we've seen so far in this tournament, more or less, that second Roche, the shard is just going on an S-tier hero for it, right?
what if, okay, just hear me out here. Whoever kills the second Roche, the lowest net worth hero on their team automatically consumes it. And it keeps going up based on who already has it at that point.
I like that. You know what? That means if you have a read in the game that you're just slightly ahead in net worth of the bottom, you just take one of your items and break it right before Roche dies, so you can get the shard.
We have new metagame of dropping your items as Roche goes down.
This
Beautiful.
is a good start, by the way, for Armel. We haven't talked about this too much during the casting, I do think, but getting the level 1 D ward for that extra 100 gold as well as the experience.
Yeah,
this matters. The higher the level of play, the more these small advantages matter. And Armel is already playing in, you know, a matchup that I think nowadays is probably relatively even, and this could maybe swing the scales in his favor. Puck, if you go back a year, I think would just be favored against Lina. I think now with all these runes and just the abundance of water,
there is quite a bit of water.
You can probably break even with Lina here. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I remember last tournament, in terms of the majors, that is, EG, Abed specifically played basically 2 heroes the whole tournament.
Puck and
Storm Spirit, and yeah, this Puck right here. But like you said, has gotten some tweaks and hasn't been as favorable. I mean, typically this was a later pick in the draft, I think, right? This was the last pick, if I'm not mistaken, from EG, unless I'm just completely, yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Which, again, last patch, wouldn't have happened. This was a very high priority pick.
Yeah. And it has been in some of the series here, not necessarily like first phase as it was back then, but it has not been a last pick only.
Right.
Especially some of the Chinese teams have liked picking it third pick when they get a little bit of information and they want to buy themselves some time in the draft with choosing their other course. Even though I think they've exclusively played at mid, Puck doesn't really have many terrible matchups. Like, it can hold its own against basically everything. Bach is taking quite a beating here.
Yep, Fly, another Earth Spike. This, I believe, is the third one with the Fable.
Oh, the body
RTZ.
blocks.
The right clicks are enough. First blood for EG, and this is exactly what they need with this high tempo, kind of earlier game lineup. As Crit, looks like he pulled a wave here. And Boomy wants to try to pull this off a bit. You're talking about these mid heroes, and it's funny, after all these changes and all these tweaks, Queen of Pain's still completely missing in action. Feels like a last resort if all your other heroes are taking like, I guess I'll take Queen of Pain.
That's
So,
cool. Quap was meta for like a week. That's the best she's had in 5 years. So
was that the Mjolnir
Yeah.
with the spell lifesteal thing?
Oh,
that was a
that's
couple
true,
years ago at
actually.
this
That's
point.
been 2 weeks, I guess.
That was kind of fun. But yeah, pretty annoying here to deal with when she is in meta. As we see Abed will be able to get this bottom water rune. And it looks like the top rune was actually being held by Crit. So Armel won't be able to get one for himself. In fact, finds the right clicks of Crit, gets slowed down a bit, and now TP to fill that bottle. Oh wait, does he not have one?
He TP'd for the salve. He
Oh.
was already in top lane. This is a really high impact rotation from Crit, actually. Just denying the water rune and forcing the Abaddon TP. And forcing that salve out means that this salve is now not available in the top lane, and maybe they can get that extra bit of pressure out on the Morphling as a result. Gabbi only 2 tangos. There's a lot of regen currently sitting on Ice Ice Ice. He's more than happy to trade, even unfavorably, just because he has an abundance of regen. It could work out just fine anyway. Need to make sure you get the CS though. Missing a couple of easy ones there, just warming up.
Yeah, a little bit late on the bottle in the mid lane. That kind of surprised me from Armel's perspective, but does have it now, so we'll see who gets the rune advantage as the water runes are going to be back up again in about 50 seconds here. But you can see the CS very, very even to start things out in that mid lane. So we'll see how this continues to go. But I mean, in terms of rotation, once Abed hits level 6, that's when you get that first coil on somebody, probably a rotation mid, if anything. But how does Alina like to play? Is it kind of similar where you get this Laguna Blade in one of these side lanes, or? Oh, we're going to have a jump in. Armel looks like he'll get slowed by Crit to start things out. Illusory Orb, but yeah, not enough.
So I think in this game, Lina, realistically speaking, only really ganks bot, right? When there's an arena, maybe you connect with a quick Laguna kill and go back to mid. But I think it's a very good point how Puck wants to play, because you have some very good friends to play with Coil here. There's Nature's Prophet safe lane. Let's not underestimate how much this can pressure Lina mid. That you always have this +1 you can bring in behind the tower.
True.
To try to bully Armel, as Tim's
looks like
is in
Tim's might
trouble.
take a tumble here, but there. Ooh, okay, that was not the greatest coordination. Telekinesis out of the LSA. Now he's going to try to turn this around, but we'll just do a little chip damage and away they go. Actually, Armel has a bit of a level advantage right now, obviously helping out with that first ward that you were talking about, but I mean, this is like a quarter level at this stage. So
Yep.
he's
There's a
done
couple
very
more
nice
denies.
job.
He's 4 denies ahead of Abed. Getting some more damage
I'm
out.
not sure if
Obviously,
any
the
XP was
raindrops.
taken by Crit, but he's been in the mid lane a little bit more often than the TNC members so far.
Yeah, he might have taken 1 or 2 creeps of experience, but it definitely wasn't much. This is mainly adding up to the denies, I think. But yeah, as expected, mid overall pretty even, right? You have the water rune trades and the first ward, rather, dewarded by Armel. Pretty much constitutes a minimal advantage.
Yeah,
The nighttime.
I mean, this isn't really a bold prediction or anything like that, but last time we saw RTZ play the Nature's Prophet, 20-minute shard is going to be pretty important timing to allow you to get those 2 greater treants that really become annoying.
Oh, Fly's in trouble
to be
here.
able to push. Yeah, you can see RTZ TPing back as Fly. All right, that was a little bit of a wraparound there. Bach looks like he's going to back off for now, but the Sprout being used for a little bit of vision here. Now Bach taking some right clicks from RTZ. Not going to be enough quite yet. Does get the vision in the end, though, and that will be a kill for RTZ. It was kind of a separated fight between the supports and the cores, if you will. Is now Ice 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 in the top lane getting chased by Boom. He has the Aphotic Shield applied, but here comes Crit to try to slow. And it looks like Ice 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 will survive with that salve on top now.
And they also find Tim's bot in the meantime, just in the end. They chased him really, really far with Nature's Prophet and Lion, ultimately getting him. I don't know, there's been a little bit... I don't know if it's because they haven't played it so much. That is unexpected from
Yes.
Gabbi.
Preventing the use of attribute shifts, so a great double wombo combo there, if you want to call it that, for EG. That's a huge kill on the laning stage.
It is very, very big. They're starting to build a significant advantage at this point. 2k gold lead minute 6, but what I was going to say was these telekinesis usages have not looked like they were really on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't know. They haven't played very much Rubik, at least not in the playoffs here. Seem a little bit not on the same page with how exactly they want to handle this.
Coil, Abed, you can see that ult from RTZ coming in with Crit's right clicks to help out. He's actually going to survive for now. Gets up a nice LSA, but with Fly here to help out, that is going to be a dead Lina and a regen rune on Abed. As the Fade Bolt's going to cancel at Tim's. Now getting surrounded, only level 3, so the telekinesis, not a very high level, but see the TP support coming in, and Abed's just going to be fine trying to get this farm here. But yeah, great start from EG. I mean, again, this is not a lineup that you want to start behind on. You have to get off to a good start. The question is, how long can they maintain this lead? Because there is a certain threshold, like the panel was talking about, like you alluded to, where TNC's lineup, just on paper, just the lineup itself is just going to be stronger.
Yeah, it's definitely still far away. You need a couple of key items before you can truly start thinking about that, such as BKBs or Mantas.
I'm always thinking about the late games.
I know, you love your 75-minute games.
When I see
average.
a lineup like, which one would be better in that 65-minute game where the tier 5 items drop?
We did have a couple of those in the group stage, but the playoffs has not delivered the tier 5 items.
True. Those damn playoff teams getting wrecked. Just getting 2-0'd every time. But yeah, I've been very jealous of all the tier 5 item games, as we have the tier 1 tower to start things out here for RTZ. Of course, this is the benefit of having somebody that, you know, can just TP all across the map. You have a lot of catch, you have a lot of push potential. And it looks like they're going to try to get some kill potential onto Boom.
Oh,
like that's going to be a very easy kill. Yeah, Bach missing that spear, uses that arena. They're going to kill Gabbi again. Very nicely done from EG, and they have the numbers here. Looks like Mars is going to be next. Bach getting slowed down to a crawl. They finally take out Boomy. That was a little bit of a delayed kill, but regardless, 3 going the way of EG, and the coil being used to take out Rubik as well. So 4 for nothing. This is starting to get out of control for EG.
All right, if they're going to dominate them this hard in the first 10 minutes, then they're showing up today. This has been really good from EG so far. 9-0, 8 minutes in. Every rotation has been successful. Crit on the Earth Spirit has found, I think, now 2 kills on the Morphling off of level 1 silence. For a grand total of 5 kills, you see his kill participation there. They're getting the value out of the Nature's Prophet safe lane that they're looking for. When you pick a lineup like this that wants to dominate early, it has this ability to look like the most broken lineup ever when everything clicks. And then when it doesn't, you're like, what are we doing? But so far, everything is coming up EG. Yeah, there's just like nothing has failed, right? Every move has worked the way they wanted.
They can get Gabbi again. He's going to get silence, but gets the attribute shift off, and that was actually pretty quick timing there. Maybe there was a sound cue that alerted him to that. But the thing about EG, when they're successful, they've always been this, I say always, the last, I want to say 6 months have been extremely good in the early game. As we see RTZ inside the arena, another silence here. It looks like Morphling is, again, he actually went to the top lane just to die.
That's a replay.
On the 3, okay, that's a replay.
You're welcome.
Just want to get the play-by-play correct again. As Bach is going to die again, the replay, getting slowed to a crawl.
I actually really like that. Whenever there's a replay, you should
redo it.
Cast it in the same way, too.
Okay, if I screw up, I get to redo it again. It's a mulligan. It's an absolute mulligan.
That's actually so funny.
9-0 advantage. What I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a replay that happened literally 5 minutes. Okay, here's the arena. On to nothing. Okay? But it's interesting that EG is so good in the early game, but they weren't picking these early game lineups. Now that they are, they can expand that lead, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So kind of a cool strategy overall from EG.
Yeah, I think this is the way they should approach the game now, right? Every time there's an arena on cooldown, we've talked about TNC's lack of team fight outside of that. So whenever that's down, you go to a lane and put pressure. You know you can TP in the Nature's Prophet behind and make treants. You already have the 2 smoke supports, both level 6. Wrapping around on a level 6 offlaner, mind you. Very far ahead, and they're going to go for it right away.
Bach, yep. Oh, another Toxin. Okay, they didn't really coordinate that perfectly, but it doesn't really matter when you have this kind of a lead for EG, and not even an ultimate available for Abaddon right now. That is, whew, that's rough stuff. 11 minutes in, still level 5, and this will be a tier 1 tower going the way of EG.
So this was a really good dive play from EG. I do feel like the casting of it could have been a little bit better, though, so I hope we get a replay so you can do it again.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have a do-over on that one.
Every kill, let's get a replay today. People are going to love that.
I mean, when you saw in the segment with the gyrocopter dating show or whatever.
God, I had to re-listen to that over and over.
He did that 3 times.
Here we go. You can see the Nanotoxin misses, but the finger of death from Fly, unbelievable usage. Nets him his, I believe, first charge of the game.
Not even level 6, you have to say it again.
Abaddon not level 6.
Good.
But he will be shortly.
You said Abaddon again. It's Abaddon. You had the chance to correct it.
So here's the thing. So Ice Frog made a point Okay, so the correct pronunciation, technically speaking, of Aegis is Aegis. It's a literal word. We're going to see a jump in onto Gabbi again. A silence. This is going to be enough.
Very good.
And absolutely another death for Morphling. This is not a hero you want to die on this many times, especially at this type of a stage. We have a Mars Arena used for defensive capability. Viper Strike is applied for now. Mana Drain on the other side of the wall with the break applied as well. Bach still slowed to a crawl. Feel like we've seen this before. Armel is on the other side, though, on the high ground, as Tim's getting surrounded and brought down by EG. As they seem to be everywhere right now. Spirit does connect in the Ice. They might be able to turn this around onto Armel instead. This is a bigger kill than on Bach. They end up trading a decent kill for an amazing kill. And EG just continuing to die. It's 14-0. Who's going to get the first kill for TNC, Cinderin?
With how this is going so far, they might not get one.
You don't. We've only had. I think somebody was saying one game on record at a TI or a major with 0 kills. Was that actually right? I don't know.
This was back at TI6.
Oh, was that you saying that actually?
Yeah.
Was it your team?
Back at TI6 in the wild card.
Yeah.
We beat Execration, I think 17-0. Do you know who was on that Execration team?
Who?
Abid.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
that's right. You were telling me.
He learned from that, and he is now applying it to his own games, and that's going to be...
Now, even with the attribute shift going off for that long, yet another death. Boomy,
He has the ulti.
He's got his ultimate this
on
time.
Abaddon.
Abaddon is dead. But so is Rubik, and this is a shellacking of a lifetime.
They are actually... Why is nobody playing the Lil Nick's voice line?
That's true. That's a good
Are you
point.
guys going to play the game? Oh,
Anyway.
17-0.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
They
for sure.
are getting bullied. So going into the series, we're talking about EGR lane heavy team. When everything clicks in the laning stage, they look like a team that can win against literally everyone in any given game. Like when the lanes go like this, they are just one of the best teams in the world. And they're showing why. They've just been snowballing
I appreciate production showing a replay on literally every kill, but we need a double replay when TNC gets 1, okay? That is what we need to see. Anyway, as we see Abed laughing there, I want to make a quick point that's really important, Cinder. The pronunciation of Aegis, it's actually Aegis. Right? Like literally a definition, you can look it up. But IceFrog messaged somebody at BTS and said, I don't want it pronounced that way. So if that's, I'm fine with that, by the way. I like saying Aegis. But Abaddon sounds better to me. I know it's incorrect. I'm not saying it's not. And I prefer it.
And Abaddon is a mafia boss that loves 80s pop.
I don't care. I also say Windrunner still. I just refuse to make that change. OD, I just stopped calling whatever his real name is anymore because they keep changing it. So it's just
that
OD.
hero doesn't get picked, so you don't need to remember
That's true. That's a good point. Although EG has picked it in the past.
They have.
But again,
not in the recent.
That was NADPC, which almost amateur league at this point. I'm allowed to say that because I'm an NA analyst.
Damn, you're harsh.
Don't worry, 4 Zoomers are coming out with it for sure. 17-0. EG.
I think a lot of the NADPC teams that EG had to beat put up a better fight than 17-0.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. I mean, what do you think this is? Is this a draft thing, or is EG just playing really well?
It's a combination, but I think a decent amount of it, honestly, is draft here. I think TNC's laning stage just isn't strong. Like, Abaddon Morph is a very defensive lane, and I think Mars Rubik can be good, but they're playing against an exceptionally powerful lane and a carry Nature's Prophet. So I think the only reason they picked the Rubik is because they want Fade Bolt against the Treants, but it hasn't cut it. They just lost that lane. In the mid lane, they drew. I think that was their best lane outcome so far by far. And they've just been outplayed. Like every single rotation from especially Crit's Earth Spirit has just borne fruit, and he's going to find another one here.
Yeah, Crit has absolutely destroyed this game. Fly, will he expend the finger? No, he's not a greedy boy. I would have taken that charge for sure. We see a coil. Looks like it's not going to net anything, though.
The waveform.
Yeah, but the silence onto Gabbi again. Looks like he's going to be brought down. Well, he gets the attribute shift off, but it's just too much of an advantage for EG, as Boomy will be the one to get out. It feels like the Morphling is dying and the supports are getting out a lot of these times.
All right, I think it's time to predict, Shan.
Yes?
What's the final kill score?
I'm going to say 27-1. And Armel will be the one with the kill.
Who's going to die?
What do you mean who's going to die?
On EG's team. If they get a kill for...
It's always fly.
Okay.
So we'll just go easy. I mean, it could be
EG,
crit, but...
EG in the game position they're in now, I think they're going to turn it into a sport to not die at this point. So I think they're going to do their very best to keep it completely clean and keep playing their map advantage. So I'm going to be bold here and say they win one team fight with this Aegis and then the game ends. So I'll say 24-0.
Okay. Do you actually think it's going to end with 0 kills?
That would be quite the accomplishment against a team like TNC, but man, they've just been totally destroyed in this game.
I mean,
we need, okay, like what can TNC do realistically here, right? So let's look at what kind of fight they need to find in order to come back. They have to get a good arena.
They need
right?
a blink dagger first.
They need a dagger on Mars so they can get an arena. Then inside this arena, the spear has to land. Lina has to be able to cast all her spells without getting silenced by 3 different silences, or 2 silences and some stuns. But does Nature's Prophet actually have an Orchid? Because then they have 3 silences. He is not going Orchid at all. Okay, he's going full on right.
He's going for the game ender.
Yeah.
BKB.
I mean, it is possible for TNC to pull off this kind of fight, but there's just so extremely many conditionals right now that need to be met. Ideally, Rubik steals probably Coil. If he can find that, that's very good against Earth Spirit and Puck itself. Notice how I said itself. I think Slax is very proud of me. That's lore accurate. Here we go. There's the roll.
Again, crit, but the attribute shift did go off. Coil onto 2. Abaddon trying to do as much as he can to save his poor carrying Gabbi. That's the 20th unanswered kill thus far for EG. And make it 21. Okay.
I mean, as I expect, I went into this series saying I think TNC are the favorites, and they're showing why in this game.
Wait, what did Kyle predict?
I don't know.
I didn't get to listen to that
segment. Kyle didn't get to predict, and that's why the game is cursed.
I see. Oh, now Bach, he's going to take a Viper Strike with the Kuro. Oh my god, he just gets blown up. This is not remotely close. I don't even know how to hype this. 23-0.
This could be good educational content for elementary school for kids to learn how to count.
23. What's after 23, kids? Well, that's the death of Gabbi, probably.
24. That used to be my lucky number. 24, actually.
That's a very interesting fact that I don't even want to expand on because I literally don't care.
That's very understandable.
Why was it 24?
No, it doesn't matter.
Now I'm curious. It's such a stupid thing to bring up. You might as well let everybody know why you brought it up and ruined the broadcast.
Because I was young and I didn't have any imagination and it's my birthday. So it was really boring.
That is actually the worst.
It is super boring.
It was so much worse than I thought.
I do remember I was in a theme park and I won a really big plate of chocolate on the number 24. So it actually worked for me one time. It did.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe it.
Well, RTZ will not be able to stop that TP because he doesn't have a Basher because nobody buys Basher on Nature's Prophet Cinder. Maybe an Abyssal.
He could have had a Hex.
That's true. That would have been a better thing to say. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. So 23-0 EG advantage. Now, can we start talking about game 2, or is there any possibility of comeback here for TNC? It's not quite 100% win probability somehow.
No, I mean, they can definitely, they can find a fight with a Mars arena where all their spells combine and they maybe kill the Lion plus Earth Spirit early, or find a stolen Puck coil and kill the Puck. But that's what we're talking. Like, good is not even close to good enough here. It needs to be absolute perfection, and EG needs to make mistakes at the same time. So a tall order.
All right, I have a feeling TNC's going to get a kill here.
You're not going to go on Viper first and get away with this.
I have a feeling Bach. All right, he gets off the Mars arena, and yeah, not a lot of damage being done by Ice, but there's the LSA. This is the first kill of the game for TNC. Can they turn it around? Rubik dies, buys back. Armel getting right-click despite being in the BKB inside that Sprout as well. He will be brought down very shortly by RTZ. Double kill for him. And now Gabbi on the run has to waveform away. Boomy. Same story, but different result. Looks like he'll be taken out by the right clicks of RTZ again. So it's a 4-for-1 with the buyback coming out on the Rubik.
Well, you said 27-1, right?
I said, did I? Yeah, I said 20. I guess I'm not going to win. And also, it was Ice that died, right? So,
yep, that's true.
And he gets tipped by TNC.
They all in-smoked 5 heroes and jumped the tankiest hero in the enemy team.
And they got him.
They got him.
They got him.
They did. They sent a message to Ice. Don't mess with us. We're coming after your team. We need another few kills and we'll be there. And what an absolute beatdown.
I mean, okay, let's look at this realistically, okay? If I was looking at a game 21 minutes and you're down 12K, that's obviously extraordinarily, like, the discrepancy is huge. But we've seen comebacks.
We have.
Like, let's forget about the scoreline for a second.
Broke.
All right, this won't be good for TNC. And yeah, that's another death for Gabbi. I'm trying to think of a silver lining here, Cinder. Is there any way?
It's a best of 3.
Yeah, there's
That
another
is
game
a silver
to play.
lining. Imagine this was a best of 1. That would be very sad.
Yes.
That would remind
be.
me of a certain wild card that...
Okay, you've been on the losing end of these games before,
No,
so...
never. I don't lose.
Well, tell me this. In this situation, as we see the first kill onto Ice Ice... That's a nice reaction. Thank you, production.
Fly was looking at him visibly confused, like, did I do anything
you actually
wrong?
die?
What did I do?
But from TNC's perspective, like not GGing out yet. Like,
Right.
Like, what's the mindset going into game 2? Like, do you want to try to at least get a combo off before doing so? Do you think it's a more too defeatist of an attitude to GG?
I mean, if you're holding on to hope that there is a type of team fight you can connect that you can win, or at least break even in, which is also a win. When you're this far behind, even trading 2 for 2 is really good, right?
Right.
If you see it, I think you play for it, right? I don't think TNC is worried about fatigue. They have this one series today, right? It's only this one best of 3, whether they win or lose.
Yes.
So you're not like saving energy for a later important series that you don't want to spend your focus on. You can obviously play out one best of 3 completely focused. So I don't blame them for it. I also think that just, you know, nobody wants to GG out at this kind of score, right? Like, you want to show what you can do.
I've actually, I mean, I've had conversation with pro players in the past where they would actually have GG'd out because they feel like it's kind of demoralizing and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And then it depends on how the morale of the team is, right? If you're having fun with it, like obviously you're not going to be having fun right now, but if it's not getting toxic.
I mean, they stacked 4 tips on Ice 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 after they lost a team fight 4-1.
It's true.
I think they're having some fun at least. You can see Gabbi on the camera there. He was looking really happy farming these creeps.
Thank God I'm not dead for 10 seconds.
Gabbi is with a big smile on his face here. I have 500 GPM. In my head, I actually have 250. He has 380.
380. That's better than fun, yeah.
Not too bad. Well, it's pretty bad, but given the circumstances, it could be worse.
Yeah, I thought it was
And
worse.
sometimes that's the lookout we need in life. Is that when things are tough, it could always be worse.
Thank you, Cinder. That's
You
such
could
a
have
positive
started
outlook.
in the playoffs and lost 2 series 2-0. TNC. That could have happened.
You could have been literally any of the other playoff
You could have
teams,
won.
basically.
You could have won in your region and therefore lost, and that is good that you did not get first.
Yeah, absolutely. And RTZ finally pressuring a tier 3 tower. Oh, telekinesis on the Abed. He will live.
Nice try from Bok there.
Good effort.
It's basically impossible on level 4 phase shift, but I like the attempt regardless. Like, who knows, maybe you misclick a little bit of size, you're a little bit, get a little bit overconfident. Why not, right?
Yeah, you can get a little lazy when you're up this much, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
to fish for anything.
14K is pretty big, but we've seen comebacks before. Like the 29-1, I think, is slightly deceiving. Would you slightly?
No, it really is not deceiving.
It's a little bit deceiving. So for once, I'm trying to be positive here.
Shannon, I am a machine. This is a big win. They are very far ahead.
Can you please break it down for me, Cinder?
I don't know how this is deceiving. What are you talking about? They're losing everywhere.
All right, again, everybody says I'm such a negative. I don't know what else to say other than there's a chance.
29-1 is deceiving.
I mean, there's also a chance we get hit by a meteor right now. I mean, again, it's possible.
You broke me. I actually have emotions. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, this... Please stop laughing, Cinder. This is not natural for you.
All right, here we go.
Another pressuring of tier 3. Nope, Crit's going to jump in on the other side here. Yeah, Abed's going to use the coil just to make sure that this Abaddon, as the higher beings call them, is that... Oh, the Mars Arena on nothing. Huh? BKB TP. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Has his Assault Cuirass, and they have Deso. I don't know if it's on him yet for Abed, but it will be coming soon if not. So yeah, there it is. So a lot of push potential now to try to end this game. And honestly, I would not be surprised. Roche is actually up. Yeah, get second Roche. You get your shard on. I mean, Nature's Prophet is what I mean, actually, probably Viper, since you want to end the game. That's even more minus.
The Viper one is really good here, giving the poison attack the ability to hit towers and -1 armor per hit.
Wait, is it? Can you go back, Observer, to the Viper? Is it -1? I thought they nerfed it to 0.5.
Isn't it -1?
Oh, you're right. Okay. Because I remember when it was first put in, it was.
I mean, it might be 0.5. The
stacks is 3, so it's -3 is the most you can get, right? Or increase? No. That's increasing the
Max
poison
stack.
attack,
So
yeah.
max stacks is 8.
The original way that they had it with the talent and the shard was actually way better, but you had to get level 25, obviously.
Right.
So it's a nerfed version of that. Like you would literally just end the game instantly with one team fight.
Honestly, it could be minus 0.5 armor. Sometimes the text is not updated.
Yeah, in America, we round up everything, including our weight.
No, but seriously
Oh,
though.
it was actually crit that takes it.
Okay.
Oh,
More
wait.
remnants. Remnants give
Wait,
vision.
but yeah, it looks like RTZ has. Did he the?
He bought one.
So he's the one that bought it.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, for the
Actually, you might be right. It might be the other way around.
either way, Nature's Prophet Shard is these 2 big tree ants you get.
Big
They're
boys are gonna go in.
very nice, and then the one for Earth Spirit, you basically get vision of your stone remnants, which is crazy, and you get additional stone remnants, which sounds kind of boring, but it's one of the best shards in the game for sure.
Power's gone.
Yeah, that's a lot of minus armor now.
It is an incredibly feel-good shard, the one on Earth Spirit. Even disregarding the vision that you get from placing the remnants, just having so many, it's a really big part of the hero, the spirit or the remnant economy.
Oh,
Oh my
boy.
god, he almost died.
Yep, that's pretty quick. If we click on crit, you can see that he's queuing up 4 BKBs. We'll see if he gets those by the end of the game. Is this...
He did go for the vessel, by the way. We've seen it used twice, I think, on the morph.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it resulted in a kill. Most of the kills on the morph has just been silence chaining.
Yeah. Easy with the Aegis, not... I mean, he definitely doesn't want to be the second person to die this game, so he made sure that he got that one. Okay, he's going to get speared into the range racks, into the LSA. Mars Arena to follow. Can they actually take out RTZ? Well, they're going to take out Mars first. Crit. Okay, he will be the second kill of the game for TNC. Is now Boomy, gets the Aphotic Shield up. RTZ pops back up with that Aegis being used.
Ah, 3-2-3.
Very close. Yeah, that was a split-second decision. We'll have to get an instant replay of that scoreline for sure, as RTZ and Abed are just cleaning up. I believe GG's will be called here shortly, as it is now officially 36-3, and I think that's where we'll probably end. Or they'll just hold on longer. That's also a possibility.
Tim's is going to defend here. Throwing out the orb.
Yeah, what's a buyback on?
It did not defend.
Really? I mean, one benefit of being such low level is you'll be up soon, so you can have one more defense after the megas come up,
Yeah.
of course.
And that, you know, the
All right, GG's a call!
36 to
Unbelievable game by EG.
36-3 and megas. To be honest, they are a little bit deceiving.
Yeah, it's deceiving, like I said. So EG handling business here today, and that was...
What a stomp.
Yeah, we
That
keep
was-
getting these clowny games. That was a... Okay, we've had Gabe in level